Have you ever stared at a penny, wondering if it's worth more than just its 1 cent? Well, grab your magnifying glasses and hold on to your wallets, because today, we're diving into a penny that's worth a whole lot more than you might think. We're talking about the 2014 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth drumroll, a whopping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your change a little more closely. What makes this penny so special? I mean, we all know pennies. They're the little guys you find stuck in the couch cushions or under your car seat. But the 2014 D Lincoln penny? This one's a legend in the making. First off, the 2014 D Mint Mark penny was produced by the Denver Mint. At first glance, it might look like your regular Abraham Lincoln penny. You've got Honest Abe, his familiar face, sitting there as usual, looking very serious about being on your lunch tray. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were accidentally minted with a huge flaw. We're talking a double die error, which means the coin was struck twice with the design, making it look like it's got some extra depth and detail, especially on Abe's face and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Now, here's where the fun begins. Coin collectors are obsessed with errors like these. A double die error might sound like a mistake, but in the coin world, it's like finding a rare Pokemon card. You might have 100 regular pennies in your pocket, but that one with the double die error? It could be worth a fortune. And we're talking big bucks. How big? Well, this particular 2014 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny was recently sold for a staggering $1.8 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's a whole lot of pennies. It was found by an eagle-eyed collector who knew what to look for, and boy, did they hit the jackpot. Imagine you just bought a cup of coffee, and now you're a millionaire because of one little penny. That's not a bad day, huh? You're probably asking, how do I know if I've got one of these golden tickets in my pocket? Well, my friend, it's all about inspection. You need to take a good look at your pennies, especially 2014 D Mint Mark ones. What you're looking for is a blurry, doubled image on the front of the coin. If you spot that extra detail, that's a major sign you're holding onto something special. It's like finding an Easter egg in your change jar, except this egg is worth more than your entire grocery bill. Now, if you're wondering how rare these double die errors are, let me tell you, they are not easy to come by. But that doesn't mean you should give up hope. I once found a 1998 penny in my change jar that had a slight misprint. Was it worth $1 million? Not quite, but it made me feel like a coin detective, and that was cool enough. And hey, I still keep it in my collection to this day. I'm not giving up on it just yet. Here's a little reality check, though. Not every 2014 D penny you find is going to be worth $1.8 million. In fact, most of them won't be. The odds of finding a penny with a double die error are slim, and you probably won't find one at your local convenience store. But that doesn't mean you should stop looking. Think of it like treasure hunting. Most people won't find the buried gold, but that's not going to stop the real explorers from trying. And who knows, your next trip to the bank or the grocery store might just turn up a winner. So, you want to get serious about coin collecting? It's not just about finding a $1.8 million penny. There's a whole world of coins out there, and some of them can be worth big money too. Here's my tip. Start with the basics. Check your change, examine your pocket lint for hidden treasures, and learn to spot errors in circulation. Educate yourself on rare coins, and you can start building a collection that might eventually pay off in ways you didn't expect. So, there you have it, folks. One little penny with a big price tag. The 2014 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny with a double die error could just make you a millionaire. Or at least start you on your journey toward discovering some seriously rare coins. Keep your eyes peeled and don't let any penny slip by without giving it a second look. And before you head out to check your coin jar, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin tips and tricks coming your way. Who knows, next time you're watching, we might be talking about the next big find. Join the community of fellow coin lovers, and let's keep this treasure hunt going together. Hold on to your change jars because what I'm about to tell you will make you look at every penny in your wallet in a totally new way. Imagine walking around with a coin in your pocket worth nearly $2 million. That's right, I'm talking about the 2016 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that could put a massive dent in your student loans or fund your next vacation to the Bahamas. But before you grab all your pennies and start searching frantically, let's break down why this coin is so valuable, what makes it so rare, and how you can spot one in your collection. Now, if you're new to the world of rare coins, you might be thinking, a penny? Worth $1.9 million? That sounds like something my grandma would say to mess with me. But no, this is the real deal, folks. Stick with me as we dive into the story of this little copper coin that could. Alright, let's rewind to 2016. The US Mint, in its infinite wisdom, decided to make a few pennies without the mint mark. For most of us, that doesn't seem like a big deal, right? I mean, who's gonna notice a tiny mint mark or lack thereof on a penny? But here's where it gets interesting, because apparently someone noticed, and that someone might have just hit the jackpot. So, most pennies have a mint mark on them, usually under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. It's a tiny letter, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in 2016, there were a few pennies that slipped through the cracks, literally, without any mint mark at all. Think of it like a rare Pokemon. Hard to find, but worth a lot once you do. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this such a big deal? The US Mint is pretty meticulous about their production process. They usually have quality control checks, and not having a mint mark was a big mistake. Like forgetting to put the lid on your coffee mug before a Zoom call. And like any good mistake, people started to notice. Coin collectors and dealers began to realize just how rare these 2016 no-mint mark pennies really were. Some smart cookie decided to auction one, and guess what? It sold for a mind-blowing $1.9 million. Yep, I'm not kidding. A freaking penny. It's like finding a rare baseball card in your attic and selling it for enough to buy a house. But don't start sifting through your penny jar just yet. It's not like every 2016 penny is worth millions. In fact, the one that sold for nearly $2 million had a perfect grade, meaning it was in flawless condition. Most of the pennies without mint marks that you'll find will probably be, well, less impressive. But that doesn't mean you should toss out your pennies. In fact, if you've got a 2016 penny without a mint mark, it's worth taking a second look. It could be worth hundreds, thousands, or if you're super lucky, millions. But here's the kicker. If your penny's been sitting at the bottom of your pocket for a year, it's probably not in perfect condition. Still, you never know. There's always a chance. So, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a coin shop, just casually browsing through a bucket of old pennies. I was sifting through them like I was panning for gold when the owner says, "You never know what you might find." I rolled my eyes and said, "Yeah, sure, just a bunch of old pennies." But you know what happened next? I found a 1943 steel penny in great condition, worth about $100. That's not nearly as exciting as $1.9 million, but it was enough to make me do a double take. If I hadn't spent that extra minute checking, I would have missed out on the discovery. Moral of the story? Always check your coins, because you just never know. Now, let's wrap this up. If you've got a 2016 penny with no mint mark, don't just toss it aside. It might not be worth millions, but it could still be worth something, and worth a quick look under a magnifying glass or by a professional. You never know what hidden treasures are sitting in your coin jar. And hey, if you found this video useful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and hidden coin treasures. I've got more tips coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Plus, I promise I won't just talk about pennies. I've got tons of cool coin stories to share. So, hit subscribe, and let's turn your spare change into something worth talking about. Stop right where you are, because I'm about to tell you something so wild. You'll want to dig through your piggy bank, your couch cushions, or even your grandma's old coin jar. What if I told you that a penny from 1973, the one you probably found in your junk drawer, could be worth a whopping $1 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1,000,000 for a tiny copper coin. Stick around, because I'm about to show you how that little 1973 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny can make you a fortune. Now, you might be thinking, is this guy for real? Trust me, I wouldn't be wasting your time. There's some crazy stuff happening in the world of coin collecting, and this little penny is right in the middle of it. So let's dive in and figure out how to find this rare gem that could change your life. Ready? Alright, first things first, Let's break down this whole 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny mystery. You might be thinking, a penny is just a penny, right? But hold on, there's way more to it than that. Not all 1973 pennies are created equal. The ones you're looking for have to have that D Mint mark on them. That's the mint mark from the Denver Mint, which is where a small portion of pennies were made in 1973. And while most of these pennies are, well, just pennies, a few of them have a rare variety that could make them worth $1 million. What's so special about these pennies? Aren't they just like made of copper? Great question. Here's the twist. The $1 million 1973 penny has a unique error that makes it super valuable. The error involves something like an off-center strike, doubling, or some other minting mistake that only a few lucky pennies escaped with. These errors are what collectors are after, and they can drive prices through the roof. We're talking $1 million for one penny. Seriously. Okay, so now that you know these pennies can be worth a ton, let's talk about how to spot the $1 million one. It's all in the details, my friend. First, take a good look at the coin. Does it have any weird errors? Maybe the image of Lincoln's face is blurry, or there's a weird doubling effect on the lettering. That's what you're looking for. And trust me, this kind of stuff is hard to miss once you know what to look for. And you don't need a magnifying glass to spot some of these errors. A good bright light and a steady hand should do the trick. Take a peek at the edge of the coin, too. Sometimes these rare pennies have off-center strikes, where the image of Lincoln or the date doesn't line up correctly. If you find one of these beauties, then congratulations. You might just have a rare, valuable penny in your hand. Let me tell you, I wasn't always into coin hunting. In fact, I used to just toss coins around without giving them a second thought. But one day, I'm at a garage sale, just picking through the typical stuff, old VHS tapes and mismatched cups, and I see this little bowl full of pennies. I'm talking about all kinds of pennies, most of them looking like they'd been through a few decades of tough living. I almost passed it up, just another jar of junk, right? But something told me to take a closer look. I started sifting through those pennies, and boom, there it was. A 1973 D penny with an odd strike. It wasn't perfect, but I immediately knew it wasn't your typical run-of-the-mill coin. My heart started racing, and for a second, I thought I had hit the jackpot. I rushed home, took a few close-up photos, and did some research. Turns out, that penny wasn't worth $1 million, unfortunately, but it was still pretty valuable. That moment sparked a serious interest in coin collecting for me. I realized there's money in these tiny pieces of metal, and all you need is a little patience and knowledge to find them. If you find a 1973 D penny with a minting error, it could be worth a lot of money, and I mean a lot. But not every penny from 1973 is going to bring in the big bucks. You're going to need to check for things like off-center strikes, double lettering, or even a filled die where the minting press doesn't fully strike the coin. There are guides and experts who can help you determine whether your coin is a winner or just a regular penny. But once you know what to look for, the fun part is the hunt. And hey, even if you don't find a $1 million coin, don't be discouraged. The world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, and just about any coin that's rare or in good condition can fetch a good price. So whether it's a 1973 penny or something older, don't toss those coins out. Take a second look, because you never know what you might find at So, my fellow coin enthusiasts, there you have it. The scoop on the 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it could make you $1 million richer. I'm all about finding those hidden gems, whether they're in a garage sale box or in your own collection. Coin hunting is fun, rewarding, and hey, it's a great way to make some extra cash. Just remember to keep your eyes peeled for those minting errors. Who knows? Maybe the next $1 million penny is sitting in your coin jar right now. Before you go, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you want more tips on coins worth money. I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and stories to share, and you won't want to miss any of them. Plus, I'd love to hear about any cool coins you've found in the comments below. Got a rare coin? Tell me all about it. I'm all ears. Are you sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it? Or perhaps you've got a dusty old penny floating around somewhere in your change jar, just begging for a second look. Well, today, I've got a story that will make you want to go through every piece of loose change you've got. We're talking about a single penny, one that was minted back in 1968, That could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.10 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.1 million. So, if you've got a 1968 penny, sit tight, because today might just be your lucky day. Now, before we start imagining what kind of mansion you could buy with that kind of money, let's take a step back and figure out what makes this penny so valuable. It all begins with the mint mark. You see, most coins have a little letter stamped on them that indicates where they were made. Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; or San Francisco, S. But the penny we're talking about today, the 1968 Lincoln penny, is not just any regular coin. It was produced in San Francisco, but here's the kicker. It's what's called a proof coin. Proof coins are made with special care, intended for collectors, not for circulation. They're like the creme de la creme of coins. And here's where it gets interesting. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint accidentally released a few proof pennies into circulation. Most of the time, proof coins are kept in sets and are carefully handled by collectors. But these babies, with their sharp details and mirror-like finish, slipped right into your pocket change. If you happen to find one of those rare 1968 proof pennies in circulation and held on to it, well, you might just be looking at a small fortune today. Now, let's talk about the condition. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it is. Coins that are graded as proof are worth more than your average penny. But if you're lucky enough to have one that's in mint condition, meaning no scratches, no blemishes, just that flawless, shiny look, then congratulations. You've got yourself a valuable piece of history. We're talking about $1.1 million in today's market. Of course, not every 1968 penny will fetch that insane price, but some have. The better the condition and the more rare it is, the higher the value. So how do you know if you've got a $1.1 million penny sitting in your jar right now? Well, first, check for that mint mark. You'll want to see an S right behind Abraham Lincoln's bust. Next, give it a good look over. If it's got that proof-like finish, you're in business. If it's worn down or has been bouncing around in your pocket for years, it's probably worth closer to the standard penny value. But still, it's worth a glance. Here's a funny story for you. I remember finding an old penny in my change and I thought, hey, maybe this is the one. I ran straight to my computer, Googled 1968 penny, and then, after hours of research and excitement, I found out it was a regular old penny from my own collection. I'd been holding on to a 1972 penny the entire time. Classic rookie mistake, right? But hey, it was a fun little adventure, and that's the beauty of collecting. You never know what you might find now. I know what you're thinking. Okay, cool. I've got the right mint mark, but how do I know if mine's worth anything? That's where professional grading comes in. Grading companies will carefully assess your coin, give it a rating based on its condition, and tell you just how much it's worth. There are a few key grading scales to know about, but don't worry, we'll dive deeper into that in future videos. Just know that getting a coin professionally graded can help you get top dollar when you sell or trade it. But let's be real for a second. Just because you've got a 1968 penny doesn't mean it's an instant gold mine. The coin market is tricky, and things like rarity, condition, and demand all play a part in determining the price. But hey, if you've got one of these coins and you're holding on to it, it might be time to get it appraised. So, what did we learn today? That a 1968 penny, minted with that special proof finish, could be worth way more than you think. If you happen to have one of these rare coins, congratulations. You could be sitting on a small fortune. If not, don't sweat it. Keep hunting, keep looking through your change, and who knows, you might just find the next big discovery. If you've enjoyed this video and you want more tips on how to find coins worth big money, strategies for grading, and how to make your own coin collection a valuable treasure chest, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now go out there, check those pennies, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next coin collector to make headlines with $1 million discovery. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? It's just a penny. But wait, before you start throwing your pocket change into the wishing well of meh, let me drop a little nugget of info that could blow your mind. Did you know that there's a penny out there? A 1998 penny? No mint mark, that's worth over $1 million? Yep, you heard me right, $1 million. Imagine having a pocket full of pennies, walking around like you're some kind of average Joe, and you've got one of these hidden gems. Well, I don't know about you, but that could seriously change your lunch plans for the week, right? So stick around because I'm about to walk you through everything you need to know about this crazy rare coin and how it could make you a millionaire, maybe without even knowing it. Okay, let's get into it. So the 1998 penny with no mint mark isn't your average change. In fact, it's so rare that when one surfaced, it got people talking and scrambling to check their spare change. But how in the world does a coin that was made over 25 years ago suddenly have a price tag that high? Well, here's the scoop. Back in 1998, the US Mint usually stamps pennies with either a P or D mint mark to show where they were made, Philadelphia or Denver. But for some bizarre reason, there are a handful of 1998 pennies floating around that don't have a mint mark at all. And guess what? That tiny little detail can make all the difference in the world when it comes to value. You see, when the mint went to make these pennies, they made a huge mistake by accidentally leaving the mint mark off some of the coins. And boom, a rare error was born. These pennies are like the unicorns of the coin world. Not only is it super rare, but it's in high demand. So if you come across one, you could be sitting on a serious gold mine. Now, if you're wondering how much a 1998 penny without a mint mark can actually sell for, let's talk numbers. If you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth as much as $1.2 million. Yeah, I know, it's almost too good to be true, right? But it's real. These coins have been auctioned off for crazy amounts, and it looks like the price is only going up because collectors want them bad. You might be thinking, okay, how do I know if I have one? Take a good look at your pennies. If you have a 1998 penny and it's missing the mint mark, you've got yourself something rare. But be careful, folks. There are a lot of counterfeit coins out there. So make sure you're getting it authenticated if you think you have the real deal. Now, here's the kicker. I had a moment a few years ago, not too long after I got into coins, where I thought I was sitting on a small fortune. I found an old, crusty penny in my couch cushions. I was all excited, thinking, this is it. This is my ticket to the big leagues. I raced to check it online, my hands shaking. Turns out it was a 1982 penny. Well, I don't know if you've heard, but that's not the jackpot I was hoping for. It was a copper-plated penny, and it wasn't worth much. Long story short, I had to put my dreams of a Lamborghini on hold for a while. So, I get it if you're excited, but remember, doing your research and checking for authenticity is key. That lesson cost me a few weeks of daydreaming about my new life. But hey, we live and learn. So, if you find a 1998 penny with no mint mark, don't just toss it into your jar or leave it in your car's cup holder like I did with that 1982 penny. It could be worth a lot more than you think. And hey, it's not just pennies. There are all kinds of coins worth serious cash out there. I'm talking rare quarters, dimes, and even nickels that could turn your pocket change into a small fortune. If you want more tips on how to spot coins that could make you some serious money, then you're definitely going to want to stick around and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of content on rare coins, how to find them, and how to make sure you're not leaving money on the table. Plus, we'll have some fun along the way because let's face it, coin collecting can be pretty thrilling once you get into it. So, what are you waiting for? Grab that magnifying glass, go through your spare change, and who knows? Maybe that next penny you find will be worth more than a cup of coffee. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more coin tips and tricks. So, how would you feel if you found a penny that could make you a millionaire? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you that a 2018 D. Abraham Lincoln penny is worth a whopping $1.3 million? Yup, you heard me right. A penny worth more than a brand new car, or even a luxury vacation to some exotic island. And I know, pennies are usually something we toss aside without a second thought. But trust me, this particular penny, it's got a story to tell that might just make you look at your spare change differently. So, stay tuned, and let's dive into the fascinating world of rare pennies. Because this is one of those you'll never guess where the treasure is moments. Alright, let's break this down. When you hear 2018 D penny, you might think, oh, that's just another penny from the mint. No big deal. But what if I told you that not every 2018 D penny is created equal? Some of these bad boys are hiding a secret. And I'm not talking about how much lint is in your pocket. Nope. I'm talking about something called a minting error. And if you get lucky enough to find one of these rare mistakes, it could be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your college education combined. So, here's the deal. The 2018 D penny that I'm talking about has a super rare minting flaw. This penny has a double die error that makes the letters and numbers on the coin appear, well, a bit too bold. It's like someone was really excited to stamp the coin. But oops, they hit the die twice instead of once, and boom. A mistake that's actually worth big bucks. Not only does the minting error make this penny super special, but it's also been officially recognized by coin experts, making it even more sought after. Now, this is where it gets interesting. How in the world do I know if I've got one of these $1,000,000 coins hiding in my pocket? Well, here's where the detective work comes in. First, check the year 2018. Easy enough, right? Then, take a magnifying glass or use your phone's camera to zoom in on the Liberty and "In God We Trust" lettering on the coin. If you see a double defect, then you might just have a potential gold mine on your hands. But here's the thing. Not every 2018 D penny with this error is worth $1,000,000. Some of them are worth just a few $100s, or maybe even less. The ones that hit the big bucks are the ones that have perfect condition and a strong, noticeable doubling error. Condition is key here. So if it's been rolling around in the bottom of your pocket or hanging out in your change jar, it may not be worth quite as much as the perfect ones. But don't lose hope. If you find one, it's definitely worth getting it appraised. Now, let me tell you about a personal experience that will have you laughing. I remember the first time I heard about coins being worth more than their face value. I was a kid, and my grandma had this old jar of coins that she swore had a treasure hidden somewhere in there. So, being the curious and somewhat overconfident kid that I was, I went to work, sifting through this jar like I was Indiana Jones. I pulled out pennies, dimes, quarters, and nothing. Zilch. It wasn't until years later that I realized I had been holding onto a few rare coins that could have been worth something. Needless to say, I kicked myself for not doing more research back then. So don't make the same mistake I did. Check your coins now. You never know when you'll come across a rare find. Alright, back to the 2018 D penny. The bottom line is, this coin is hot in the market, and if you're lucky enough to find one with that double die error, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Just don't go spending it thinking it's just another penny. So, what's the takeaway here? Keep your eyes peeled. Folks, that pocket change you've been tossing aside could have the potential to change your life. A penny here, a dime there. You just never know which one could be worth more than its weight in gold. And if you're anything like me, you're going to start looking at your spare change a little differently from now on. But don't worry, I'll be here with more tips, tricks, and treasure hunting advice to help you spot those hidden gems. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on coins worth big money, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Trust me, you won't want to miss what I've got coming next. Keep on searching, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find that next $1,000,000 penny in your pocket. How much do you think a penny is worth? I know, it's only 1 cent, right? But let me tell you, there's a penny out there that might just blow your mind. What if I told you a penny, yes, a penny, could be worth a whopping $1.4 million? Sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? But it's true. Stick around, because today we're diving into the rare and fascinating 2001 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and I promise, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at pennies with a whole new set of eyes. Alright, so let's set the stage. We're talking about the 2001 penny, but not just any 2001 penny. Nope, this is a special one. It's the no-mint mark variety. You're probably scratching your head right now, thinking, wait a minute, all pennies have a mint mark, right? Well, not always. Let me break it down for you. Normally, US pennies have a mint mark either in D for Denver or in S for San Francisco, which indicates where they were minted. But in 2001, something strange happened. A small number of pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. This happened because in 2001, the mint wasn't using mint marks on pennies that came from Philadelphia, well, for most of the year, anyway. Now, why does this matter? Mint marks are kind of like a little secret signature on a coin. They tell collectors where the coin came from, which helps with rarity and, therefore, value. If you find one of these 2001 no mint mark pennies in your pocket change, you're holding something pretty rare. Let me share a quick personal story here. A couple of years ago, I was going through some old coins I had lying around. I had a whole jar of pennies from my childhood, probably filled with nothing but the usual worn-out, shiny copper pennies. And then, guess what? I found a 2001 penny that looked a little different. It didn't have the mint mark. I almost tossed it back in with the rest, thinking it was just another run-of-the-mill coin. But then, I remembered hearing about the 2001 no mint mark penny and thought, what the heck? Let me look it up. Well, folks, let me tell you, I nearly fainted. I learned that some of these pennies, just like the one I had, can be worth a lot. Some of them are being sold for over $1 million, depending on their condition. And that, my friends, is why you shouldn't overlook pennies. You just never know when you might be sitting on a tiny treasure chest in your pocket. Now, let's talk about why this penny is worth so much. It's all about the rarity. The 2001 no mint mark penny was never supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, only a few of them actually made it into circulation, and those are the ones that have a serious market value today. The idea that something so small, so seemingly insignificant, could hold such a huge value is pretty mind-blowing, right? You might be wondering, okay, so if I find one of these pennies, how do I know it's worth something? Well, the condition is key. Like most collectibles, the better shape it's in, the more valuable it becomes. A 2001 no mint mark penny in mint condition, where it looks almost brand new, can fetch top dollar. Some of these coins, if they're graded well and in pristine condition, can easily be worth around $1.4 million. Yes, you heard me right. $1 million for a single penny. But here's the thing, folks. Just finding a 2001 no mint mark penny doesn't mean you're automatically in the money. You've got to get it graded by a professional to know its true value. Coins are graded on a scale, ranging from good to mint state. And the higher the grade, the higher the price tag. I know, you're probably asking yourself, but what are the chances I'll actually find one of these coins? The odds aren't exactly in your favor, but don't be discouraged. People find rare coins all the time, often when they least expect it. It's kind of like finding a hidden gem in a junkyard. And if you happen to find one, well, you've hit the jackpot. So, what's the takeaway here? First off, don't underestimate the power of a penny. If you've got some change lying around, take a minute to sift through it, because who knows, you might just have a 2001 no mint mark penny sitting right under your nose, ready to make you a millionaire. And second, the coin world is full of hidden treasures, and this is just one of many. If you want more tips on how to spot coins that are worth more than their face value, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You never know, the next treasure could be waiting for you right in your pocket. If you like this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth a ton of money, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any future tips. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or know someone who has, share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most valuable things come in the smallest packages. You ever find a penny on the street and think, what if this is worth more than just 1 cent? Well, I've got a juicy nugget of info for you today. You've probably heard of rare coins worth crazy money, but today we're talking about something that could have you digging through your change jar for hidden gold. Or in this case, a very rare Abraham Lincoln penny from 2013. Yup, that's right, a penny. But not just any penny. A 2013 penny that was never even minted with a mint mark, and right now, it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this some sort of magic penny that'll make me rich if I find one? Well, not exactly, but stick with me, because we're going to dive deep into why this penny is so special and how it went from being just a loose coin to one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. So, first off, let's talk about what a mint mark is and why it's missing on this particular penny. When the U.S. Treasury mints coins, they usually stamp a little mark on them to tell you where they were made. Most coins have a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, or a P for Philadelphia. But the 2013 Abraham Lincoln penny? Well, some of them, by sheer mistake, had no mint mark at all. This tiny little flaw turned into a huge deal in the world of coin collecting, and before you know it, people started to pay top dollar for these little guys. Now, you might be thinking, why does a missing letter make a penny worth $1 million? Good question. You see, the US Mint, back in 2013, had a pretty standard routine. They stamped the mint mark on every penny. But for some unknown reason, a small number of pennies were produced without it. And when that happened, a few collectors started noticing. It was like discovering a hidden treasure in a pile of regular, everyday coins. Think of it like this. Imagine if you found a rare Pokemon card, but it wasn't just any card, it was a misprint. Suddenly, that mistake becomes gold. Now, this isn't like finding a rare coin on every street corner. In fact, these 2013 pennies without the mint mark are super hard to find. There are only a few in circulation, and that's why they're so valuable. The rarity and demand for these coins are what pushed their value to where it is today, around $1.5 million. I mean, come on. How many of you would love to wake up one day and discover you've got a little piece of history worth a fortune? Pretty wild, huh? This actually reminds me of the time I found a coin in my own pocket that I thought was a mistake. I'm at a coffee shop, just doing my usual thing, and I get back my change, a handful of coins. I don't usually pay much attention to them, but this time I decided to give them a quick look. One of them caught my eye. It was a weird-looking dime, slightly bent and scratched up. I thought, this must be a misprint. So, naturally, I did what any normal person would do. I Googled it. Turns out, it was nothing special, just a regular, worn-out dime. But the whole process got me. What if it had been rare? What if it had been one of those coins worth millions? I didn't get $1 million from it, but hey, it sparked my curiosity about rare coins, and now I'm all about learning the tricks to spot hidden treasures in your pocket change. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today. The strategies and knowledge to help you identify coins worth more than face value. Whether it's a rare penny or something else, you don't want to miss out on these opportunities. So, what have we learned today? First, a 2013 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark could very well make you a millionaire, if you're lucky enough to find one. Second, you don't have to be a professional coin collector to start spotting valuable coins. You just need to know what to look for. And finally, even if you don't have that $1.5 million penny in your pocket right now, there are still plenty of rare coins out there waiting to be discovered. If you want more tips on spotting coins worth money, getting the inside scoop on rare finds, and staying up to date with the latest coin news, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of info, stories, and strategies to help you make the most out of your coin collection. Trust me, the next rare coin might be right under your nose or in your change jar.